Nestled in the rolling hills of Galilee, in the quaint little town of Cana, life moved at a slower, more deliberate pace. The sun-baked stone buildings stood as silent witnesses to generations of stories, of lives lived and loved under the warm Middle Eastern sun. A wedding was in full swing, a vibrant tapestry of tradition and joy unfolding under the clear blue sky. The air buzzed with anticipation and excitement. It wasn't just any wedding, it was shaping up to be the best party anyone could remember, the kind of celebration that would be talked about for years to come, a benchmark of merriment and good cheer. The sun sparkled, casting a golden glow over the festivities. Lively music played, filling the air with infectious rhythms that made it impossible to stand still. Laughter, like a sweet melody, filled the air. Everyone celebrated in their brightest, happiest clothes, a kaleidoscope of colors swirling and dancing in the sunlight. The vibrant hues mirrored the joy in their hearts. Tables overflowed with delicious food, a feast fit for royalty, a testament to the abundance and generosity of the occasion. Sweet cakes, dripping with honey and adorned with intricate designs. Fresh bread still warm from the oven, its aroma filling the air with comforting scents. And treats for all, a delightful array of flavors and textures to tantalize the taste buds. Children played, their carefree laughter adding to the joyous atmosphere, their energy boundless and infectious. The bride and groom beamed, their faces radiant with love and happiness, embarking on their new life together. And joy was everywhere, permeating every corner of the celebration, a tangible presence that warmed the hearts of all who attended. Jesus was there too, a quiet observer, yet his presence amplified the joy. He was enjoying the celebration with his mother Mary and his close-knit circle of friends, sharing in the happiness of the day. Being near Jesus made everything feel warmer, brighter, and even more joyful, as if his very presence was a blessing upon the festivities. His aura of peace and love touched everyone present. Mary moved through the crowd, a gracious and attentive presence, making sure everyone was cared for and comfortable, ensuring that no one was overlooked in the revelry. Her heart was full of love for the happy couple, wishing them a lifetime of happiness and blessings as they embarked on their journey together. It was a perfect day, a beautiful celebration of love and commitment, and Mary hoped with all her heart that nothing would spoil it, that the joy would continue to flow freely throughout the day and beyond. The wedding was in full swing, a joyous occasion filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses. Guests mingled, celebrating the union of the happy couple. But amidst the revelry, a subtle shift began to occur. Mary, ever observant, noticed worried whispers rippling through the ranks of the servants. Their faces, previously bright with professional cheer, were now etched with concern. A hushed urgency permeated their movements as they huddled in corners, exchanging anxious glances. The atmosphere, once purely celebratory, was now tinged with a growing unease. The reason for their distress soon became apparent. The wine was running out. Empty bottles lay scattered, a stark testament to the dwindling supply. For a wedding feast, this was more than just an inconvenience. It was a potential social disaster, a grave embarrassment for the hosts, and a damper on the joyous atmosphere. Mary's heart ached for the couple. She knew the immense effort and expense that went into planning a wedding, the dreams and expectations pinned on this one special day. She couldn't bear the thought of their celebration being marred by such a preventable problem. She didn't want their special day ruined. Acting swiftly and discreetly, she quietly went to Jesus, her son. With a gentle voice, she whispered, "They have no more wine." There was no demand in her voice, no hint of panic. She wasn't demanding, just trusting him with the problem, presenting the situation with a quiet confidence that he could and perhaps would intervene. Jesus replied with a tone that might have seemed dismissive to an outsider, "Dear woman, why do you involve me? My time has not yet come." His words hinted at a larger plan, a divine schedule that he was bound to follow. Mary wasn't discouraged by his initial response. She knew Jesus' heart, his compassion, and his power. She trusted him completely, even when his words seemed to suggest otherwise. Without hesitation, she turned to the servants, her eyes conveying a silent message of assurance. With unwavering confidence, she simply said, "Do whatever he tells you." The servants looked at Jesus, a mixture of uncertainty and anticipation in their eyes. They were uncertain about what he might ask of them, but ready to listen, willing to follow his instructions, whatever they might be. Mary had done her part. She had planted the seed of faith and trust. She brought the problem to Jesus and trusted him with it, leaving the outcome entirely in his hands. The party continued, the music playing on, the guests still celebrating, seemingly unaware of the potential crisis averted, but a quiet hope began to grow, a sense that something extraordinary was about to happen. The servants waited for Jesus' next move, their eyes fixed on him, ready to spring into action. Would he intervene? Would he perform a miracle? Would he do something amazing to save the celebration? The atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Jesus told the servants to fill 6 huge stone jars with water. The servants were puzzled. What did water have to do with wine? Still, remembering Mary's words, they obeyed. They hauled bucket after bucket, filling the jars to the brim. It seemed pointless, but something about Jesus made them trust him. They worked together, not knowing what would happen next. The jars stood full of water, and the servants waited, curious and a little nervous. They had taken a step of trust, even when it didn't make sense. The servants finished their hard work, filling every jar to the top. The party buzzed behind them, but they focused on Jesus' strange request. They stood by the jars, wondering what would happen now. The problem wasn't solved. The jars were full of water, not wine, but they had done exactly what Jesus asked. A quiet moment hung in the air, full of anticipation. The servants looked to Jesus, waiting for his next instruction. They had trusted him. Now it was up to him. Jesus told the servants, "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." Nervously, a servant filled a cup from a jar and carried it to the master. No one else knew the wine had run out or that this cup came from a washing jar. The servant held his breath as the master tasted the drink. The miracle happened quietly. No one saw when the water became wine. Only Jesus and the servants knew the secret. The master sipped, expecting ordinary wine, but tasted something extraordinary. The moment of truth had arrived. The master's eyes widened in delight. This was the best wine he'd ever tasted. He called the groom, amazed, and praised him for saving the best wine for last. The groom was confused, but the servants grinned. They knew the secret. News of the incredible wine spread, and the party's joy soared higher than ever. Jesus didn't draw attention to himself. He let the miracle be a quiet gift. Mary, the servants, and Jesus' friends knew what had happened. They saw God's power turn an ordinary moment into something extraordinary. Their trust in Jesus grew deeper than ever. This story, seemingly about a wedding celebration, is actually more than just a party miracle. It's not just about turning water into wine or saving a party from disaster. It's about something much deeper, something that touches the very core of our faith. It's a glimpse of God's heart, a peek into his boundless compassion and unwavering love for us. It reveals his desire to be involved in every aspect of our lives, both big and small, joyful and challenging. Jesus cared deeply about the couple's happiness on their special day. He saw their need, understood their embarrassment, and chose to act. He stepped in with love, demonstrating his willingness to meet us where we are and offer solutions beyond our wildest dreams. This wasn't just a magic trick. It was an act of profound kindness. The servants' trust and obedience played a crucial role. They didn't question Jesus' instructions. They simply followed them. And because of their faith, they were able to witness something truly amazing, a miracle that defied explanation and filled their hearts with wonder. When we trust Jesus, when we place our faith in Him, even with what seem like small, insignificant problems, the everyday worries that weigh us down, He can do wonderful things exceeding our expectations and bringing joy into our lives in unexpected ways. Jesus didn't just make enough wine to get by. He made the best wine, transforming a moment of potential embarrassment and worry into a celebration filled with joy and abundance. God loves to fill our lives with abundance, not just meeting our needs, but showering us with blessings beyond measure. He loves to surprise us with goodness, with unexpected moments of joy and delight that remind us of His presence in our lives. So, whenever you face a problem, big or small, remember the wedding at Cana, remember the miracle that took place, and trust Jesus to work in your life too. He can turn the ordinary into something extraordinary, transforming your challenges into opportunities for growth and blessing. All of this is possible because He loves you deeply and unconditionally.